Welcome to the I Beg to Differ podcast. My name is Candace, and I'm here again with my co host, my lovely sister Katrina. Today, we are going to be recapping and giving our opinions on Sweet Magnolias season 3, episodes 3 and 4. So where we left off last episode, we still had Cal and Maddie trying to do this 2 week no. I guess I thought it was just no sex, but I guess it's like no physical, romantic, anything. So they struggling, to get through that. So they were just washing the truckers and stuff and flirting. And Cal, he kept seeming like he was trying to like tempt Maddie throughout these 2 episodes, in my opinion. And then we find out that Dana, Sue, and Ronnie, they are working on finding out what each other's love languages are. So they, I guess, it sounds like they've been going to marriage counseling with Pastor June. What do you think about that? You think that's going to work out for them or?
I'm not sure. At this point, I kind of feel like the Dana Sue and Ronnie situation is not going to work out in the end.
Yeah.
Like, I can see it just being a whole chaotic mess.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. We'll get through these 2 episodes. I feel like it got a little bit better for me, but
hmm
I'm still like, I feel like the core of their issues are still there. Like, I don't think just finding out each other's love language is gonna fix it.
They have trust issues too,
Yeah, they
though.
don't seem compatible at
They
all.
aren't compatible, and that's exactly why their daughter keeps avoiding them.
So yeah, like Andy is just like, she is not with whatever they got going on. I feel like, but I'm glad to see. Like, I know we'll get to about she finally. Well, they didn't even show her talk to them. I don't think about the party, but they like referenced
Mm-mm.
it that she did. Like, I would have liked to
Yeah.
see that actually on like a scene about that, since it was such a big like issue for Annie. Like the fact that they just kind of brushed over and had her like mention it in that discussion with Isaac and Noreen, that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
So then Helen, we get to Helen. I guess they just kind of like quickly checking in on each one of the women. So then we get to
hmm
Helen. She baking a cake for Ryan, and then Ryan, he's still dropping off these boxes. He don't went all the way to Houston just to drop off a box to his cousin.
No comment. No comment. No
And
comment
so
at all.
then Ryan says he wants to go on a first date with Helen, because they're starting over. This is like their new chapter, their new journey. I was just like, I don't feel like Ryan and Helen have the same chemistry as Ryan and Eric. So it just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the direction the actor took for her
hmm
interaction with Ryan, but it just didn't seem as genuine. What do you think?
I mean, for Helen, I just feel like she should have stuck with Eric at this point because,
Mm-hmm.
like, with her being with Ryan, he just doesn't seem very genuine. He
Mm-hmm.
seems to be throwing hints in the episodes that we're going over
Right.
that I kind of took, and I don't know if she took them, but
It
she
looked
shouldn't
like she
have.
did. It looked like, I know what you're talking about.
And
I saw her face on
You
every
saw
single
that shade,
time.
didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I saw it the whole time. I was like, "Girl, you don't one." Well, no, she ain't no girl. I'm not gonna call her that, but I'm gonna say, "Woman, you should have seen that. That's a red flag."
Yeah, yeah. It was like he kept throwing hints like, um cuz I feel like, is this the scene or was that the next episode where she asked about the job? Remember she was
I
like, well, how's your job search going or something like
Yeah,
that,
I
and he was
think
like he's a substitute teacher.
in the episode she was asking him.
Mhm.
Well,
Oh
no,
yeah,
she
that's
wasn't even
next
asking
episode.
him. That's the next episode. But like the
Okay.
other episode, the episode 3, she was they were doing a scavenger hunt, and then he was saying
Mhm.
something about, yeah, that's when my mom was, or my aunt or whoever said that, you can't really keep me down. I'm one of those people who
Oh
just like to travel all
yeah.
the time. Yeah. And
Yeah,
and
I
I
can't
saw
remember.
that.
It was one of those episodes because they sat down at dinner with Ronnie and Dana Sue.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna get to that because that I saw her face and I'm like, girl. So Kyle he wants to help Maddie find a way to connect with Cal. We get that scene. He kind of picking at them because they supposed to be doing chores, but they playing around and stuff. So he's like, you should just do something in a group because then it's like less pressure, which makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you go on like a group date, it's not so much pressure for everything to go good. So they could kind of like
I don't
do a
know.
little something in group.
It is kind of pressure. I mean, I
But
don't
cause you
know.
think
For
your
me,
friends or your sisters are gonna be judgy?
I mean, you never know. Never know. You never know. It depends on the guy because, like, if
Yeah.
the guy done did you dirty before, of course, it's gonna be kind of like hard.
No, I
But
get
if
what you
they know
mean.
like the guy is cool, like good, and he has a good vibe, I don't think it's hard. But it just depends
Right.
on the situation.
No, I get what you mean. No, I agree with that. I think with Cal though, it's like they all like Cal anyway, so it's
Mhm.
like I think the group date will kind of help ease it a little bit
Mhm.
more for Maddie. So Maddie agrees with that. We got a little scene with Noreen and Isaac. I don't really want to talk about them. I don't really want to waste time.
I feel like they're like supportive roles at this
I feel like
point.
they just
Like
throwing these scenes. So, cause some
it's
the one thing
like
I
they
didn't
have
like
them
about
crazy.
these two episodes, we got a lot of little like short scenes that
Mhm.
didn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of the story. So we're gonna
Exactly.
kind of like skip past that. Like Noreen just saying her brother appreciates Isaac for being there for her,
Mhm.
cause basically ain't nobody fooling with her in the town because she had the affair with Maddie's husband and she ain't got no
Yeah.
friends. So Isaac is
Well,
like
I
her friend.
mean, I forgive the girl at this point.
Right.
I forgive the girl at this point because I
It's
do feel sorry for her at this point.
yeah.
But
But she
I
does
feel
seem
like the town,
remorseful, at
yeah,
least.
and I do seem it do seem like the town is actually forgiving her and starting to take her in.
Yeah, I agree. So then Isaac invites her to come to the scavenger hunt at the festival. I don't remember the name of the festival, but they doing a scavenger hunt.
Nah, I don't
Um,
either.
so then Kathy see casually walks by Eric. I think she did it on purpose, but
Mhm.
she basically trying to poach Eric from Sullivan's, and she's saying she acting like she don't really know who he is, but she knows, and but he clearly doesn't know who Kathy is because Eric, even though he has his like drama with
Mhm.
um Helen, I don't think he would do that to Dana Sue. Like he's super loyal, so the lady basically saying she's the assistant manager at Z's, I guess, is just gonna eventually probably be a competing restaurant in town. And Eric clearly don't know who she is, and she wants Eric to come run the kitchen at Z's. So what did you think about this? Did you think this was just like she took it too far, or how'd you feel
I gotta know the backstory.
on Kathy
Like,
and
yeah,
well, we
what
got a little bit
happened?
when
I
she
want to
was
know the full backstory because
yeah,
it's always like two sides to the story or however they say it.
yeah.
But I didn't know the backstory, and I do feel like Eric would do Dana Sue wrong because you got to think about it. On my end, I'm seeing it like this: like there's a guy, her friend basically did
Mhm.
him wrong.
Yeah.
So at that point, his loyalty is no longer to Dana Sue.
Yeah. And my well, the more I thought about it too as I was saying that, it's like I disagree. First of all, I beg to differ because I
Okay,
do
okay.
think that Eric is super loyal. He's like military guy. Like if
Mhm.
he knows, like now I'm not saying he ain't gonna like
Yeah.
leave and go to Z's because like we see he kind of does that next episode, but
Mhm.
I think if he knew who Kathy was in like the drama behind her and Dana Sue, I don't think he would have went there. He may have went to a different restaurant, but he wouldn't have went to Z's.
Okay.
What'd you think? But he don't
I
really
f-
owe her anything.
that is true. That's
Like
what
it's
I'm
his career.
saying.
Like he's getting to run the whole kitchen. But I think if
Mhm.
he knew the drama with Kathy and Dana Sue and Ronnie and all that stuff, I think he would like a thought twice about it, a little like a even more about it.
I don't know. I don't know. Cause he ain't got no loyalty. It's
Yeah.
just like I'm not saying he's not loyal to Dana Sue at this point, but
Mhm.
it like now since his friend, like her friend, basically
Yeah.
did him dirty. Like it's kind of like she taking the other girl, Helen's side. So
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, she's always gonna take Helen's side.
yeah.
That's even though I do
So
think she's trying to kind of be supportive of him too, though. At the same time, it
hmm
feels like.
yeah, she's trying, but I'll be honest with you, you really can't do both sides. You got to pick a side.
Yeah. No, I agree. So then after that, we see Helen talking to Paula, and she's saying everything's going so great with Ryan. Da 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 da. And Paul was like, "Oh, we need to catch up and do lunch." And Helen's like, "Oh, I'm free now." And Paul's like, "You want to go to Sullivan's?" Helen like,
Mm-mm.
I ain't trying to see Eric." So they decide to go to
It'd be
some
messed
other
up if
lunch
he spit in
spot.
her food too. I didn't think about that on that episode.
Nah, I don't think he would do that though. He's
Yes, if he
like,
did something to her food, like put some hot sauce
cause
in
he
it or
still
something.
love her. I don't
I was
think he
like,
would do
oh
that.
Lord.
But I'm just
I'm really
like, you
crazy.
gotta woman up. You made this decision. You knew you weren't like. That's my thing. People shouldn't like move on with other people until they're ready. Like,
Yeah,
even if you knew, if you felt like, oh, Ryan's gone, we're not on the same page, we're not going to get back together, until you knew for sure your feelings for Ryan were done, you shouldn't have like moved on with Eric to like a relationship. What do
that's
you think?
true. I also agree with that just because, you can still have feelings for that person.
Yeah. And it's like, so then it's like, if Ryan come back and say the right things, and it's you just drop Eric. You know what I
Yeah, she
mean? I didn't
did.
like
And
that.
that was a whole messed up situation. But I feel like she was like a bruised woman, like how you say abused
Mm-hmm.
woman, like not physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
And she wanted what she wanted, and then now she gonna get what she want, and then she's not gonna be happy.
Yeah, she realizing, I feel like in these two episodes, she's kind of realizing, oh, this ain't what I. So then we finally find out where the heck Katie is. So Katie's at science camp, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
because we've been
I thought
wondering
she
where
was doing
Katie
the Judy for
was.
Family Matters where she went upstairs and never came back
Well,
down.
like after our last podcast, I did Google it. So apparently they had to recast her because the actress that played Katie is in some other
Uh-uh.
show. I think maybe it was like a limited series with like
I don't like
Apple
those
TV or
I
something.
don't like those recasting situations.
Yeah.
They never work
But the
out.
other little girl looked kind of similar, I think. I can't remember. I saw like some pictures on the internet. So I was like,
We'll
okay,
see.
we are getting Katie back at least. Like she ain't just gone for good.
Yeah.
So then Bill sees Kathy. I guess they're at Z's. I don't even know where they be at. It looked like a little lounge area. But they like
Mhm.
dress kind of like old times, the like servers or something.
Mhm.
But he sees Kathy and he kind of confides in her about his rough day. I almost lost a child, patient and stuff.
Mhm.
I already see the writing on the wall. Where are they going with this? Bill about to start sleeping with
He's gonna
Kathy.
mess with Kathy. He's gonna mess with Kathy.
But I don't know because he looked, and we'll get to. I don't. I keep jumping to episode 4 because
I don't
episode 4
know.
had
I
all the
don't
good
know.
stuff. But when Eric came in Z's, he looked a little uncomfortable. Like, dang, like should I tell Maddie like that this is happening? Like, you didn't he look kind of uncomfortable to you at the end of episode 4 when
Nah.
Eric came in and was saying he was consulting or something at Z's?
I don't think he was uncomfortable. He just didn't know what to do at that
No,
point.
you think he was just wondering if like Eric was seeing her too or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like he maybe had turned the page. No, he turned around, but we'll see.
Mm-mm.
So then he asked
Mm-mm.
Kathy to dinner, and I don't know if we really got an answer for that. Like if she was gonna let him take her to dinner, but I think they did end up meeting up while everybody was at
Mhm.
the
Yeah, they
the little
did.
thing.
Mhm.
So basically, the whole gang, everybody's gonna be competing in the scavenger hunt. Um, all three ladies plus like Isaac and Noreen and like some of the kids or whatever.
Mhm.
So they basically are over the top competitive. All three of them. Helen was even offering the kids money. Supposed to let me
Yeah.
Venmo you to join my team because you need at least 3 partners. So all
Yeah.
3 women are competing with their men, and then they have like one other person on their team. So the final team's gonna
Mhm.
be in Maddie, Cal, and Maddie's mom Paula, and then you got Dana, Sue, Ronnie, and Kyle. Helen, Ryan, and Ty, and then Isaac, Noreen, and Annie.
Yeah.
Um, so then I guess the town kind of puts this like together. So we get Peggy, who's we find out was Isaac's mom. She's like the
Mhm.
little local reporter,
Yep.
and she stops Trent, who's the mayor slash Mary Vaughn's husband slash Jackson's mom. And
Yep.
basically she's like asking for a statement about the recall, but he basically
Mhm.
gives no comment and just gets up on the stage and starts off the scavenger hunt. But the look on her face, you could tell something else was up, and obviously we find out what it was at like later. But I was just like, I wonder what what's going on? Like, did you kind of have the same reaction there?
I did. I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, because I remembered like the recall. I honestly, because I remember last time we talked, you had to remind me that the recall was even for the mayor election. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't know what I forgot what the recall was for because they went so long between seasons. But I was just like, it makes sense now that we get more information. So then, Ronnie and Dana Sue, they're basically testing out words of affirmation as their love languages. I guess they just giving each other compliments or whatever.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
this is a mess. That's just a mess. Can we get to the next couple? Like, just go and break them up at this point. They don't even make
right,
no sense. No
right.
sense. No sense
It's
at
like
all.
we just dragging this out. There's no way they're gonna work in the long run. So then Helen, she's super intense. She basically telling Ty, if your mama lying in a ditch, you just call 911 and run on. We gonna get the we gonna win this scavenger hunt.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
I'm just like, Ryan seemed to like it, like he's smiling and stuff. I'm like, this would scare me. Like, this
That
lady
is
seemed
scary
crazy.
for a child. And you sitting there, you hold his face. Like you hold his face and say this and say it's not gonna be your mama that will sue
Exactly.
you. It's gonna be me.
Right. I'm like,
And I'm
girl, it's
like,
a scavenger hunt. It's not that deep.
it's
It's
really
not that
not.
deep. Y'all gonna forget about this in a couple weeks when one of y'all man cheat on y'all or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, so so then Eric sees them together as he was like running through the town. So he turns around and goes the other way because he can't really see
Yeah.
Ryan and Helen together. So then we get Bill and Kathy. I guess they did decide to go to dinner. They're dancing. But then Kathy
Mhm.
has to rush off because she gets a phone notification. I'm going to just go ahead and we'll get back to that other scene, but I'll just go ahead and with the phone notification since we on it.
Yep.
She's up meeting up with Eric at Sullivan's, which disrespectful, but obviously he don't know about Kathy and what. But I'm like, if
Mhm.
you think about going to another restaurant, you don't have her come meet you at the restaurant
Mhm.
she trying to poach you from. Like,
Mhm.
Eric. So I get now you making me rethink my loyalty.
Mhm.
Cause he that
Yep.
was like if one manager's trying to poach you, why would you meet her at the current restaurant you work at? Like, sir,
I mean, if I was in
no.
his shoes, I wouldn't do it there. It wouldn't happen. I couldn't do it.
Exactly. So then he's asking like, why should he come work for her? And she's basically saying she wants the restaurant Z's to be like a tourist destination. And then we find out that she did work at Sullivan's before it was
Mhm.
Sullivan's, under the previous owner. And basically she was hoping that the previous owner would sell her the restaurant. And she was disappointed that he sold it to someone else, which I think it kind of clicked in Eric's head that she was talking about Dana Sue. So now that I'm talking through it, I'm more on your side.
Mhm.
Cause it's like it clicked in his head like, oh, there must be like some little beef here. Like I could tell by his face. So I'm side eyeing
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
side
You
eyeing
got a
Eric.
side eye, Eric. Eric ain't all goody goody. He was good with
Mm-hmm.
Helen. He was good with
Yeah.
Helen.
Yeah,
But
he seemed real spiteful. I don't
yeah,
know.
you saw how he did when he
But he had the
delivered her
right to be
food.
with Helen. I mean, but don't do Dana Sue didn't do that to you. Dana Sue didn't tell you to
Exactly.
date
She
Helen.
was looking
You
out
you
for
did
him.
that. So then we can go back to the other scene that I just skipped over. It was just basically all the ladies, they being competitive, trying to accuse each other of cheating. And so then
Mhm.
Ty, he does a good job of kind of diffusing the situation. So then Ryan, after they find another one of the scavenger hunt things, Ryan basically tells him, I'm impressed how you handled it, and tells him he would be like a good conflict resolution person. Like, I don't know what they
Mhm.
call, but conflict resolver, I guess. I don't know. But but
It's
he's like
conflict resolution.
yeah. So Helen overhears them talking and she all smirking like, ooh, that's my man. But that only lasts for this episode, girl. So
Mm.
and then so Cal and Maddie, it's getting like late in night during the scavenger hunt. So he finally confides in her, basically saying he always wanted his truck when he was growing up because I
Yeah.
guess his neighbor or somebody had a similar truck. And so when
Uh-huh.
he got his first contract with the Braves, he bought himself that truck. He was so excited. So he went to his dad and he showed his dad the truck. His dad came outside,
Mhm.
walked around the truck, and basically told him something like, I hope you can get your money back
Yeah.
because basically when he like doesn't make it in the league. So
Mhm.
basically his dad didn't really believe in him. And then he basically I think he said he worked really hard like to prove him wrong through the season, and then right after the playoffs his dad died from a heart attack that same season. So what did you think about him finally opening up about that?
I think that's probably the key at that point of like
Hmm.
the underlying issue with him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
that's what's
Like
holding him.
I agree, like just based off of like what you were saying last time. Like I was like, I don't even know if I was kind of thinking like I don't know if it's even an underlying issue. I feel like they just blowing it all out of proportion, but it like it
Mhm.
does seem like what you said like last time they're really like trying to dive in like deep down
Yeah.
what's happening with him.
He has some substance, you know.
You're just like
He
I
got
was
some
right.
he got some deep issues. Everybody do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and it's like always like stuff from so long ago that like always affects people. You know what I mean? It could be something that happened like
Mhm.
15 years ago, but like people hold on to stuff, you know?
That's true.
So I was glad like he opening up. And it's the fact that like I don't think they ever really got that deep before in their
Mm-mm.
relationship. So maybe this like no touching thing is kind of working for them. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think she needs to stop teasing him too.
So then this next little thing kind of made me mad. So Helen basically saying, telling Ryan, like, I can't wait to see what we do for the first date and stuff. And he's talking about some, doesn't this
Mhm.
count as our first date? I'm like, sir, this is called being lazy, okay? You done got this woman all prepared for a first date. You gonna try to say the scavenger, and she ate it up. She ate it
Yes.
up. She was like,
Okay.
she was kissing him and stuff. I'm like, girl.
So this is where I see it. So I see two sides. I see your side, but I also see his side. Because his side is, I don't do stuff like this.
But he didn't even plan it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't do stuff like this, but I did it with you and it was just so romantic and we didn't have to pay anything and do this and that. But then I also see the female perspective of like, where's my first date at? Like, where are we gonna sit down to eat? Where are we gonna enjoy each other's company? Where it's not
Yeah.
gonna be out in the sun? Because trust me, I've had one of those dates before where you're out in the sun. It is torture as a
Oh, I
mug.
know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yup. I ain't naming no names, and I ain't shading
I ain't
nobody.
either. I ain't either.
I ain't naming no
But
names.
you know, I know.
You do know. You know. So like, yeah, like I mean, I get that point.
Yeah. It was just like, don't tell her, oh, I can't wait to take you on our first date. You one, you didn't even plan this. Two, it was like neither of y'all planned it because she only did it
Mm-mm.
because Maddie and Dana Sue were doing it. She's like, oh, I'm gonna go put me together a scavenger hunt team. So it was
Yep.
last minute. It wasn't a date.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I ain't like that because I already don't like
It
Ryan,
would have
and
been
then
cute,
the amount
but
of
it would have
effort
been
just ain't
cute.
there.
It would have been cute if he did like a picnic or something in between it, or been like, "Hey, babe, I got you a picnic on the side. Come on, come, let's go do this picnic and spend some time together." I would have
I
did that,
guess I
but
still don't like
like, I just don't like his character at all. But I'm just trying to help a brother out.
Ryan. So then we finally see that Isaac, Andy, and Noreen won the scavenger hunt, which they weren't even trying to win, and they won. You know. So
Oh
then
yeah,
everybody looked happy with them except Helen. Did you
yeah.
notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Like Dana Sue was like cheering, Maddie was so happy for them, and Helen looking all disappointed. She's like, I think she was saying like they only lost by one or something. She was like doing her fingers like this and stuff. I'm like,
She
girl,
is starting to get on my nerves. Like just her character in general. Like,
exactly.
girl,
Like
let
she's
it
just a
go.
little
Just let
too
it
over the
go.
top sometimes.
Like, what's your point?
Right.
Like,
So then at the end of the little scavenger hunt thing, the mayor announces he is resigning. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh, there definitely is more to this, and we find out in episode 4. So we can just go ahead and jump into episode 4 because they didn't really leave us on that much of a
Yeah.
cliffhanger like they did last time.
Mm-mm.
So Helen is unboxing the boxes that she got from Miss Francis. And then Ryan, that's when we already talked about. He says he's going to be a substitute teacher for the time being, but he
Mhm.
wants to look for something more permanent. So he's going to go talk to, I forgot his name, the guy, that other
Yeah.
guy Dana Sue was seeing that owns like the
Mhm.
farm or whatever. And then you could just tell he disappointed in his career right now. Like, but he does seem, I will say he seems to love Helen, but he definitely feels some type of way about having to leave his career behind versus her leaving hers
I don't know
behind.
if he loves that woman. She's probably his fallback.
You think so? I don't know. I
Yeah.
think he
Like,
love her.
like there's a time when you love somebody and then there's a
Mm,
time when you're just like, dang, I feel kind of lonely. I know I can always fall back on this person.
yeah, now I get what you're saying too. So then Peggy meets with Dana Sue at Sullivan's. And so this is where we find out that Trent, the mayor slash Jackson's dad, has disappeared. Peggy tells Dana
Mhm.
Sue that it looks like he been misappropriating funds from the town's funds and putting them in his own
Thief.
account. And Mary Vaughn ain't returning Peggy's calls. Remember, they was all besties season.
Mhm.
Was that season 1? They were like real close. Season 2, they weren't
Mhm.
as close. So Peggy just wants to see if Dana Sue heard anything because a lot of people come to Sullivan, so she's wondering if she heard anything. Annie was eavesdropping on a conversation and get caught, so she tried to fuck off.
Mhm.
But she does tell Dana Sue that she hasn't heard from Jackson since the scavenger hunt night, which is when his dad resigned. So Annie texts Jackson like just trying to see like is everything okay? Is your family okay? And he has his phone on do not disturb. So what did you think about like finding out that Jackson daddy been stealing money?
I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm
how
not
Mary
surprised.
Vaughn be acting too all high and mighty.
Well, I just don't even know about that lady either. Not after
Mm,
she did that boy Kyle what
yeah.
she did. So at this point, I knew something evil was gonna come their way. Cause karma is a thing.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she acted like that. Like she was like, y'all can't be around like Maddie's kids or Dana Sue's daughter
Mhm.
because they were the ones pushing for the recall, remember? And so
Yep.
maybe she knew like maybe they may find something out and you know what I mean? She knew that they were gonna get
Mhm.
caught probably. But then that made me makes this why she acted like that the first couple of seasons. Maybe they was like thinking they were untouchable because we've been stealing all this money all this time and ain't nobody caught us. You know what I mean? So like how they were trying to like force like how they forced Cal out as the coach and trying to force
Yeah.
Cal to start Jackson instead of
Mhm.
Ty and all that stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
they just thought like and then remember they had that little fundraiser thing on the same night as the opening of the spa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so your fundraiser, y'all had took the money from the town to pay for your fundraiser at the house. So all
It's
this stuff you
funny.
was acting like you had, you ain't have it.
Mhm.
I was like, this woman. So then Maddie and Cal, they still got 2 more days of no like
Yeah.
physical romantic contact,
Mhm.
Um Cal keep like teasing her. He keep acting like he finna kiss her and stuff. I ain't like that. Cause this was your
Yeah.
idea. This was your idea, Cal. So you got to stick with it.
Mhm.
This wasn't Maddie's idea. And then Maddie talked him out doing some sort of drawing class with Pastor June. I don't know why her and Pastor June best friends now or something, but whatever will help her find her way. So Noreen to sign up for the spa membership. She keep feeling like people are staring at her, so she thinking it's because the affair with Bill. But then we find out it's just because people just recognize her from the scavenger hunt because she won the scavenger hunt.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, girl, ain't nobody worried about you and Bill no more. It's been so much more drama in that town since then. And then Kyle tells Sophie about Mary Vaughn. Not much there. They designing some little video game or something.
Yeah.
Annie calls Jackson to check on him, and she leaves a message just to make sure he's okay. She seems very like worried, as a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. So then we get Isaac talking to Dana Sue about this herb garden he want to start for Sullivan's. What do you think about this herb garden? Or did you have something to say about Annie and Jackson?
Nah, but this herb garden, I think it's a good idea. I mean, she shot it down, but I see where he's coming from. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
could grow your own stuff. And maybe that's because I'm into gardening myself. So I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm like
I
I'm
ain't.
kind of biased over there. Yeah, yeah, I figured you
My
weren't.
stuff be dying.
So, I mean, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to save some money. But,
I feel you.
but yeah, so I get where he's coming from because then he wants to feel like he's putting something on the table also.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
she seemed like she was going to shoot it down, but he's like, I'll run it. I'll put a plan
mm-hmm.
together and stuff. Because she's like, I don't have time to be running that and then quality control and stuff. He's like, I got it. I'll run it. I'll put a plan together. And she seems open to it.
Yeah.
So then I wrote, you already know what I'm going to say. Helen is a coward. Okay. That's what I wrote about. So she ain't been coming in Sullivan's since everything went down, with
Oh,
her
this the good
Eric.
one. This the good part. This the
So
good part.
she go,
Yeah.
she
Uh-huh.
be ordering her little lunch to go. So she just standing outside waiting on somebody to bring her lunch. Everybody keep trying to get that order from Eric. Like Eric's like, no, I got it, because he already seen who name was on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, I can take it out. I got it. Everybody he like, no, I got it. He brought her order out. Treats her like any old customer. He's like, I forgot what he said, but she tried to talk to him. He just said, "Thank you, ma'am. Enjoy your lunch or something."
But he did her
My
right. He
petty
did her
king.
right. He did her right because she did him dirty. What she thought she was finna get, and then gonna sit there and try
Exactly.
not to enter the restaurant. If I did the same thing, I go in the restaurant.
She
I don't
looked
have
so
no issue.
shocked when she looked up from her phone and he was right there.
Yeah.
But then he treated her like any old other customer, like he didn't even know who she was.
Mm-hmm. Here's your
He's
order,
like, "Thank
ma'am.
you." He's
Your
like, "Enjoy
bag.
your lunch,"
He's
and
like, here's
walked
your
out.
bag. And then she looked like she wanted to cry. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, save them crocodile tears for somebody else.
Exactly. So I think for Eric, this was kind of like the final straw for him. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
how it seemed like people are tiptoeing around him, and she won't even come in the restaurant. Like, she's making it awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then he goes back in, and then he does like, he's so thrown off. He accidentally touches a hot pan handle or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then he almost lashes out at Dana Sue because he was gonna say, "Get out," something. I don't know what he's gonna say, but
Mm-hmm.
so then they go back in the office and talk. And basically, he's like, "I need to take a step back from the restaurant for right now." And she's like, "That's fine. Just come back whenever you're ready." Girl,
Yeah.
he ain't coming back.
Mm-mm.
We saw it later. It's
Mm-mm.
not no time soon. So then, Ty, he's
Don't
trying to
come back.
figure.
Don't come back. Stay
Katrina,
away. Good
no.
vibes only. Eric,
I
don't
don't know.
come
I
back.
feel like they set us up. It's so hard because we've been doing so good now, like watching ahead. But I be wanting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what's gonna happen with Helen. I keep calling her Ellen. Helen and Eric. I think based on what we seen in this episode, she's kind of seeing like Ryan is not. I picked wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
picked wrong. But she's got so much pride, she don't want to admit she picked wrong.
Mm-mm.
But we'll get to that. So Ty, he trying to figure out the direction that he's gonna go now that he's quit baseball. He doesn't know like what he wants to do with his life, like college, anything. So Maddie, she's like, you don't have to know everything like that you want right now, but you know what you don't want. So let's, we'll sort out these colleges and we'll put a maybe pile and a definitely no pile. So then we can
Mm-hmm.
explore the maybe pile a little bit more later because it's August. I didn't realize he was already a senior.
Mm-hmm.
So he just got to start applying for some schools. What do you think? You think she kind of handled this pretty good with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I think when we went to college, we both knew where we wanted to go.
Okay,
But see,
I
you did
didn't.
better than me. You applied for multiple schools.
I did.
So,
And
and
I
then,
got in,
yeah.
but I wasn't trying to pay out of state.
Yeah, but like you like at least applied for like Georgia State and stuff too. Like I
Yeah, I did
only
that.
I mean I applied for schools. I applied for like 3 schools at first. Remember? And then I got
Mhm.
waitlisted at UGA and then I got into the other two, but they were schools I knew I wasn't going to go to. I just applied cuz it was free. Cuz they were
Yeah.
private schools, so they I
To
wasn't
be
gonna pay for that.
honest,
And so
like
then I
if I
was
had
like
to go back,
scrambling. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't apply to no other state schools. And remember, I was like,
mhm.
who's still accepting applications? So I applied to Kennesaw State, but then I did end up getting off the wait list at UGA, so it
Yeah.
worked out. But I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was
I
panicking.
wouldn't if I went back, I wouldn't have went to UGA. I would have stayed my butt at Gainesville.
I feel you. Or at least stayed at Gainesville for 2 years and then went to UGA,
Nah, I
to
would have
make it a
just
little easier.
stayed at I would have stayed over there at
If I look back, I would have
Gainesville.
went to Georgia State for undergrad
Yeah,
because my
yeah, that's where I
program.
was at.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. In my program, I think I would have been in sports had I
Mm-hmm.
stayed and
Yeah,
went
you have more
to Georgia
opportunities
State.
to like intern and stuff there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like the
Yeah,
job I'm at now. It's
me
like
too.
really, really cool.
Yeah, it all worked out
Laid
for
back.
both in
So
the end.
maybe I wasn't supposed to go that route. Maybe I was
Right.
supposed to go this route.
Exactly.
So
So then, but I think she did a good job because, like, I don't know, like, I like how not that obviously our parents were super involved in everything education wise, but just
mhm.
like helping guide him in the right direction. Like, you don't have to like know everything now, but just know what you don't want. So let's just start there, and then we can figure out the rest later. So then he seemed really receptive of it. So then Isaac and Eric go on a walk, and Isaac just kind of apologizing for everybody trying to protect Eric from Helen. They felt like they were looking out for him, but Isaac
Mhm.
sees like now that they were doing way too much, which they were. They
Yeah.
were like they need to leave our petty king Eric alone and let him handle Ellen. Helen, I keep calling her Ellen. Helen,
Look
how
at
they
us.
see fit.
Yeah.
And then he says he don't know if he can keep working there if it's gonna keep like he keeps having to like he doesn't know if he's looking forward to seeing Helen or fearing seeing Helen or just like seeing
Mhm.
Helen is on his mind, like he just can't, he don't know if he can keep doing it. What do you
Mhm.
think? You think like he should probably just not work at Sullivan's until like he's moved past the Helen thing?
I think he can still work at Sullivan's.
See, I don't agree. I beg
I
to
do.
differ.
I don't know. I still think he could sit there and work at Sullivan's. He
I
doesn't
don't know.
have to interact with her.
I know, but it's clearly like eating up at him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's like, it's making it hard for him to even like work right. Like he burnt his hand on a pan just because he saw Helen that day. That was the first time he saw her at the restaurant. And now he got a whole burn on his hand. I don't know.
That's his fault. I'm tired of talking about
Yeah.
Eric, be honest with you, because
You don't
Eric's
like Eric
starting
no
to. No, I don't like Eric no more.
more? Anyways, I guess. So then we get Paula. She's showing Dana Sue this journal. This was weird to me. Like, I'm sorry. This was
Mm-hmm.
some white people shit. Because what? She said she showed Dana Sue a journal entry from Miss Francis that
I don't know.
explains why she left Dana Sue the
No, no,
money.
no.
Miss Francis was
No.
in love with Dana Sue's father her
Let
whole
people do
life.
that.
Apparently, he only had eyes for Dana Sue's mother, but she was so in love with this man that wasn't in love with her back that she left his daughter all this money
I'm
when
sorry.
she
I'm gonna
got
be honest.
like nieces and nephews and stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I really think it's not.
You think that ain't even
It
truthful? You think he was sleeping with
is.
Miss Francis?
I think okay. I don't
Yeah,
think
you do.
it's.
You do.
No, I don't. 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 I just think that a lot of people do this, and
Who?
I mean, black people do it too. Like
Who?
they leave letters and stuff,
Who
and
leaves
they leave
who
stuff. They
leaves
leave
like
money.
a check with so many zeros that they can't stop talking about
We
it
don't
to
know. We don't know. We don't know who all does this in this world. This is just a show.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I don't think that she slept with Dana Sue's dad. I think she was just fantasizing. People have fantasies that they want to be with
So much
somebody,
that they're
but they
gonna
can't be
leave
there.
at
But
least
then
half a
you
million dollars.
but I'm saying, like, she could have thought like this girl was just like really nice and saw her as her like daughter, but wasn't really her blood daughter. And
It's
saw that,
weird.
she
It's
wasn't gonna be
giving
able to. I don't know, kids. I can't do with that
it's
one.
giving
Like,
fatal
okay,
attraction. It's
I
giving
can't.
fatal attraction.
It's not no fatal attraction. I see a good side of it. It's just like, you that's the daughter you always wish you could have had.
I guess.
And you see her potential,
Mm,
so you knew that, what she was gonna do later on in life.
I guess it was just weird to me. I don't know. I guess she a better person than me because I wouldn't be doing that. You know how I operate.
Man, go on and wrap up this stuff. Just go on and wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
So then I guess we kind of find out that Miss Francis must have invested in Sullivan's too. Like when the ladies were talking together, she was like she wouldn't have been
Mhm.
able to get Sullivan's without Miss Francis. So I'm guessing she must have been the other investor because remember her friend was one of the investors and remember he
Mhm.
wanted his money out of the business or whatever. Or did or did Miss Francis help her pay the man? Actually, I don't remember, honey. Them seasons was so long ago, but you remember what I'm talking about. So
Mhm.
then Peggy meets with Helen to talk about Trent misappropriating the funds. Helen like, girl, if I knew, I would have been said something. So they were like, okay. So she was saying, oh, Peggy, you should run for office. And then they get interrupted when Cece comes in to talk to Helen. And Cece basically asking Helen about getting emancipated because her parents they're taking jobs in two different places and basically they want Cece to move and live with her aunt or something and was it in Kentucky or something, I can't remember. And
Mhm.
then she's like, but I want to finish school here, like I'm in my senior year, I just want to go ahead and finish out here. How can I get emancipated so I can stay in school here and just finish out my senior year? Helen offers her to stay with her in her home. Cece's basically like, she just came for advice. She wasn't trying to impose, but Helen insists. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, girl, you not gonna check with your man before you like invite somebody to stay in the home with y'all, cause he clearly don't have a place there. But you know, and so then we can talk about CC more once we talk about her parents. So Trotter want to set up a little child care program at the spa. And it looked like we gonna see more of Noreen because it sounded like they finna give her a job at the spa running child care, which I don't even think is a good idea. Being a newish mom myself, why like a new mom that still got an infant? We ain't finna try. We don't want multiple babies to take care of. Like you already not getting sleep. Like that was the worst idea. Like I feel like they just trying to force Noreen on us. Like she was just complaining about not getting no sleep with the baby. Why she want to take care of everybody else's babies at the spa? Like what sense
I
does that
mean,
make?
I mean that's her first baby. Maybe she learned some tricks.
I guess. So then we get Bill and text Kathy, and he hadn't heard back from her, so he keep checking his phone. Annie didn't put Jackson on the guest list for her birthday party, and she talking to Dana Sue. Dana Sue tells her Miss Francis left the money because she felt close to their family. That's how she worded it to Annie. Annie tells Dana Sue basically she wants someone close to her like a sister, similar to how Dana Sue has Helen and Maddie.
Mhm.
So she's hoping that that's something she finds now that she's 16. So they hug it out, whatever. No, not much there. Pastor June, I just wrote Pastor June thirsty because she was being thirsty for the little art instructor. We ain't gonna
Mhm.
talk about her too much. Helen, Ryan, and Dana Sue Ronnie, they had that little fancy dinner. I know I'm talking fast. I'm trying to wrap us up.
Yeah.
So, Ryan mentioned something about him only being happy on the move, and you could tell Helen was like, "What? Like I thought we was setting roots in Serenity. Now you talking about you only happy on the move." And then she tried to kind of coach him into like saying the right things, but you could tell she didn't really believe him. What'd you
Mhm.
think?
I had already said it from the get go.
Trina?
Leopard don't change his spots.
Yeah, nah, you right. You right. No, I agree. I don't. I. It's doomed to fail. It's doomed to fail. Like I think she realizing like sometimes you want people to make sacrifices for you, but when you realize those
Mhm.
sacrifices aren't making them happy and they're like resenting, they might resent you. You're like, well, was it worth it? Like for me to push them to make these sacrifices. I think that's the moment like she's having now. It's like if it's sacrifice they're making for you just to make you happy, but they're not going to ever be happy in the situation the
Yeah.
way it is, then it's like, well, is it even worth making them make the sacrifice or pushing them to make the sacrifice? And I think
Mhm.
that's what she's like really realizing now. Maddie finally figuring herself out. She talked to her mom, finally figuring out her deep down issues too. Helen meets with Cece and her parents about becoming her legal guardian. This threw me off a little bit because she's basically saying she promises she'll never leave Cece alone with any clients, which makes sense. But she also says she's not gonna have any overnight visitors ever. And I'm like, huh? How this supposed to work with Ryan? He can't even spend the night there.
You asking the wrong one.
So I'm just like, So Cece's mom, she still needs some time to think on it. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it sounds like when we get to we can just skip to that part and then we can just jump into these other things if we need to. So Helen at the end, she's talking to Ryan and excited about Cece coming to stay with her, and then I felt like he was rightfully disappointed that she didn't discuss it with him first because it's like we supposed to be moving forward and you made this big decision where I can't even spend the night at your house anymore and didn't talk it over with me. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be glad that she's helping a child, but it's also like something that they should have discussed together before she made the decision. I'm sure he would have been fine with it because he was helping all them kids overseas or whatever, but it's just
Mhm.
like still I felt like make you gave him ultimatum like he has to stay here if y'all gonna be together.
Mhm.
And but then you're like making decisions without him. I don't know. That's not really fair.
Mm.
What'd you think?
I mean, at this point, I think
I
she's
already
used
know
to
where you going.
being on her own, being an independent woman. However, when you are with a man and he has asked you to be his fiance and marry him,
Mm-hmm.
you have now become one.
Yeah.
And all decisions should be discussed amongst each other, and you should not be making decisions on your own.
Right. But technically, she didn't accept the proposal. She said, not right now.
But you are also stringing along this man. So she's doing them both dirty at this point. She's doing them both dirty.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
she
got
is.
Eric on one side, and then you got dang Ryan on the other. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's doing them both dirty at this point.
Right. No, I agree. And then he's like promising, like, oh, I'm staying this time. Like, please believe me and stuff. And she says, yeah, but you can tell her she don't believe him.
At
So
this
they
point,
doomed to
I
like,
would recommend him. He should have just said to his job he is going to take a paid vacation
hmm
to figure out what's going on,
yeah,
but
he
not
should
tell
just,
his
or
job that
even if
he's
he
trying to
can't
figure it
take
out.
paid, like, just do a sabbatical,
Yeah.
work as a substitute teacher, give yourself a few months, see if it's gonna, if y'all can make this work, y'all can make enough. But my thing is, like, why does he have to make all the, like, compromises? I don't know.
She ain't finna do that.
Not saying she didn't make like any compromises in their like the prior times they were together, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like she making him give up everything. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't like that. I think they both should be doing equal. Like, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So then we can just jump. I'll just touch on these other few things. Ronnie made a grand gesture for Dana Sue at the restaurant, basically re-proposing and stuff. So I guess her love language is acts of service. I don't know. That I don't know. I guess that's what we got out of it. Bill showed up to Kathy's job to see if he can take her out. It sounds like she wants to see him just like at night. I think she just don't want nobody to see him with her because then that's gonna
Yeah.
blow her cover. And then Eric showed up at Z's, and it looks like he's taking Kathy up on the offer, which we kind of talked about
Mhm.
that already. Annie text Ty basically saying, "Can we meet up or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh, Ty and Annie." Like we that's what we said last podcast. We was like, "Oh, they finna get together," but no, Ty was just helping her
Mm-mm.
sneak off to meet Jackson, and so
Yeah.
basically they're moving. And his Jackson's mom had took his phone, and he's moving, and he's transferring to another school, and Annie looked really like disappointed. And then at the end of the episode, also Maddie and Cal, they finally completed the 2 week no touching rule. So they kissing and whatever, you know. But they said they still got to work on themselves, but they can also work on themselves as a couple as well. But they need to still make sure they're working on themselves as individuals. And that's
Mm-mm.
all we got from episodes 3 and 4. Um, that went a little longer than we wanted.
Anticipated.
But it did seem like a lot happened, but a lot actually happened in those last 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
I think my predictions, I think that Helen and Ryan, they definitely breaking up. Like I think episode 4 solidified that for me. I already thought that she was gonna eventually find her way back to Eric, but I think that solidified it for me. In the real world, Eric ain't taking her back.
Mm-mm.
But I think for the show,
Mm-mm.
Eric and her are gonna get back together. I think. Do I think in these next 2 episodes? I know Dana's who's gonna find out about Kathy and Eric, but I don't know if it's gonna happen in these next 2 episodes. I feel like maybe it'll happen like episode 7 or 8. I think they're gonna kind of drag that out for us a little bit, and then Ty and Annie. I'm still on Ty and Annie train. I'm shipping Ty and Annie. Annie, I say Annie. Annie, I think they gonna get together. They gonna live happily ever after. You know what I mean? He gonna be there for her now that Jackson's gone, and they, best friends to lovers. What are your predictions?
I mean, at this point, I feel like Helen, they'll make her bed. Eric's not taking her back. He doesn't want her. She's messed up in the head mentally. Ryan's gonna do her so dirty before she realizes that it's time for her to just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cal and Maddie are gonna be fine. I think Dana Sue, even though, he proposed,
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie proposed, I think it's gonna be a whole chaotic mess once
Yeah.
again. I think Annie's gonna be the one that's gonna try to run away and go see
You think so?
Jackson. I
Yeah, that
do.
might
I
happen. That
think
might
she
happen.
she is like in love with this man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's the first other. I mean, Simon was a little
yeah.
weird. He was like kind of corny. So he's the
Mhm.
first like cool guy that showed interest in her.
Yeah. Cause remember she tried to put herself out there for Ty and he didn't want her.
Mm-hmm.
So
He did
yeah.
want her. I think he was just scared,
I think he
and he
was
was just
dumb
dealing with so much with
anyways.
the daddy and stuff.
Mhm. I don't think he ever wanted her to be honest,
I
but
think you think he didn't want her until Jackson did.
mhm.
I don't know. I thought he did. I beg to differ.
Yep. Yep.
And that's it.
Yep, that's all my
All right, so I
predictions.
guess we'll see which of these come true in these next couple of episodes. We want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of I Beg to Differ podcast. Make
And
sure
it will
you
be shorter
guys.
next time.
Yes, we're trying to. We already got a little shorter. We got like 10 minutes shorter than last time, so hopefully we
Yeah.
can knock another 10 minutes off next time. So make sure you guys listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you want to see the video of our podcast, that is up on YouTube as well. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.